You're on CYInterview.
I'm Chris Yandek. Baselworld is a yearly trade show in Basel, Switzerland, where a large number of the world's watch companies come to show off their wares. Wristwatch enthusiasts, a group that appears to be growing in numbers, even with an uncertain world economy, come to this event, write about it, and discuss it passionately online. With the ending of Baselworld 2015, we began to think of who we might bring on to CYInterview to discuss luxury wristwatches. To be sure, there are a good number of intelligent, knowledgeable, and well-spoken wristwatch critics around, some who run excellent websites devoted to watches. There are also magazines dedicated to high-end horology. But in this age of reality television, and with a growing trend toward outlandish personalities developed and promoted via social media, we wanted more than someone with mere knowledge of watches. We were interested in bringing someone on to CYInterview who was perhaps controversial. Enter Paul Pluta, an intelligent, well-spoken commentator and critic in the area of luxury goods, particularly wristwatches. He has created the Archie Luxury channel on YouTube. There he tirelessly posts content with wristwatches as the centerpiece of discussion in a kind of soap opera covering his life, luxury wristwatches, the state of the Western world, women, and more. Mr. Pluta created and placed the role of Archibald Chesterfield III on the channel. Archie is a living contradiction. He is a snobbish, condescending bon vivant who claims he is lower middle class and readily tells of his foibles, in addition to his continually expressed, unrepentant love of luxury. The character of Archibald Chesterfield III, more commonly known as Archie Luxury, speaks of himself as an international YouTube celebrity and luxury goods guru. Looking at the comments on his channel, it would appear that some folks love him, and some folks, well, let's just say, they'd like to throw virtual raw fruit at him. One thing is certain, however, Mr. Pluta, by the way of his Archie character, is working hard at succeeding at what he claims is now a full-time pursuit, and it seems his base of followers is growing. Pluta, who says he is a former IT professional, comes off as both likable and knowledgeable when he is not performing as Archie Luxury. However, once in character, he is like a professional wrestling heel, outlandish and unpredictable. The better to gain attention, we imagine. We spoke with Paul to gain his insight into the world of luxury wristwatches, getting his critique on 7 notable watches, as well as listening to him hold forth on other topics. Featured columnist Jay Bilstein joins me for this more than 50 minutes of conversation with Mr. Pluta. Let's start at the beginning, Paul. What got you into collecting high-end watches and other luxury items?
I'm very much an 80s child there. I remember watching Robin Leach's Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and I've always, it's one of these things, I've always had a fascination for the best of the best. I mean, on this earth that we live in, you see stories of people who have a Ferrari, a Rolls Royce, an expensive wristwatch, and I kind of wanted to have a pursuit of what are the best things that I could acquire myself. So my interest in expensive things basically came from a desire to see what these things were like. What were they like? The best of the best. I mean, you can use a Bic Baro, or you can use a Mont Blanc or a Monte Grappa. What's the difference? Is it worth the big premium? And I've always had a fascination for the best things in life. And we're only on this planet for a short time before we die. We're only here for a short time. And if you're going to use things, it's worthwhile having some of the best, nicest things. Why surround yourself with the cheapest things when you can have the nicest things? So that's what really got myself interested in luxury timepieces, luxury luggage, luxury fountain pens. Everything I touch, I wanted to know what is the best version of it. What would famous, very wealthy people use? What would someone like Elvis Presley have used? What would someone like Warren Buffett, billionaire investor, what would he have used? And it's one of these things you think, well, I may not be as famous or as wealthy as these people, but maybe I can get and enjoy some of the things that they use in their life.
You can hear the entire conversation with Mr. Archie Luxury, Paul Pluta at CYInterview.com. Again, that's the letters CY, the word interview.com. This is Chris Yandek.